For the vision is set for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, giving all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachak Kodash, double honors unto the head apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well, Shalom, unto the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well, Shalom, Shalom. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, and a hearty Shalom to their sincere brethren living across the four winds of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling and election sure. Shalom, Shalom. So this is Brother Ashamath from the Watchman on the Coast Camp out here in San Diego, back at you with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. Lord's will, I pray the lessons edifying, comforting, uplifting, and it reaches the ears of the whole for the elect. So this lesson is inspired by going through the news, and we'll start out with the opening precept I just quoted, which is Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. And Salakia, it's getting over a little sickness, so bear with me. This is Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. And while that's loading, we'll read the header of this article. And the header of this article reads, the EU, the European Union, wants all citizens to have a digital ID by 2030. And the CEO of Nokia, about a year ago, he revealed the real plans behind this digital ID. As far as he just quoted it, and he set the time frame. What year did he say? The year 2030. So the chief executive officer, the CEO of Nokia, Pekka Lundmark, has disclosed smart gadgets will be implanted into human bodies in the next 8 years, as technological innovation will evolve into the 6th generational network, 6G. Let's get Revelation 13 on deck. I don't have a set list of precepts. I'm just going to rock through the Spirit. And Salakia, if I sound a little sleepy, I just woke up about 15 minutes ago, so bear with me. This is Revelation 13. Get that on deck. But let's read the next paragraph right here. It says, Lundmark said by 2030, the 6G network will replace the 5G wireless network, which is currently being adopted across the world and planned for the Nigerian market in the second half of 2022. Yep. So basically he said by 2030, he says humans to be implanted with 6G chips. So that's 2030. And that's right in line with the New World Order, the UN's plans for sustainable development. By 2030, they want everybody to have that digital ID inside of you in the form of the RFID and NFC microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Let's go to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Habakkuk 2. Let's start from the top. And it says, I will send upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord, and that's our job as watchmen, is to set upon the tower, the internet, watch the news, watch what's going on in Israel, and to report what's happening and filter through the scriptures, and to edify, to exhort, rebuke, so on and so forth. I will send upon my watch and set me upon the tower, Habakkuk 2:1, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision. That word vision is the Hebrew word chazawan, which goes into prophecies, prophetic visions. Let's just get it. Let's read the precept one more time, again from the top. Habakkuk 2:2, and the Lord answered me, and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And that word vision in the Hebrew is chazawan, which goes into a dream, revelation. What's a revelation? For edification purposes. A disclosure. Yep. The divine or supernatural disclosure to humans of something related to human existence or the world or something in the future, you know, to make known of something that was previously secret or unknown, the understanding of the scriptures, the deep, dark mysteries and breakdowns, what's going to happen in the future. Vision, vision, oracle, prophecy, divine communication. Oracle, vision. So it goes into the prophecies. Habakkuk 2:2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, the prophecies, and make it plain upon tables. And that's our job, is to make the prophecies plain upon tables to the best of our ability, to make it make sense, to present it in a way to where it makes sense, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is set for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And what's this year coined by the beloved elder Apostle Tahar? The hopeful year of all prophecies being fulfilled. And what do we see? If you scroll back here on blacklistednews.com, there's a whole bunch of things that are pertaining to biblical prophecy. Why is the media attacking free speech? Because you have what's called the famine of the word being implemented, where Facebook is taking down posts of people posting about Christianity. They're taking down posts about JC. You have certain laws in the books to regulate free speech and come after people who the media is going to paint as domestic terrorists. The government considers domestic terrorists people who basically are free thinkers, people who believe in the scriptures, people who are against the government. At the very top level of that, you have the servants and prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who are breaking down the 100% truth of the Bible, going into news, going into secular news, going into the biblical history and making everything plain upon tables, going into prophecy, what's going to happen in the future. You have war being brewed up as well. Right here, something I seen right here. Drone attacks hit Moscow, sparking fury at Kremlin. So you have the spirit of war, being brewed up. Let's just go get a precept that backs it up. This is Jeremiah 50:22. This is Jeremiah 50:22, and it reads, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. And that sound of battle that's in the land, ultimately, is the war drums. You have nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, all being brewed up because we're in the set time where the visions, the prophecies are speaking loud and clear, because we're in a time, ultimately, where all prophecies are being fulfilled, man, at different levels. The RFID implantable microchip and that whole MOTB system being rolled out, the war on free speech, the war on access to food, access to good, access to services, ultimately World War III, the visitation of Esau, the visitation of the prophets on Esau, Edom, the two witnesses standing upon their feet in great fear falling upon those who saw us. And ultimately, the climax of this situation is the deliverance of the elect when Yahweh Shai cracks the sky. Let's not get carried away. So, and you see another one that pertains to biblical prophecy. The FDA wants people to report misinformation because what does the Lord say? You shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Let's get one more. Matthew 10:22. This is Matthew 10:22. And it reads, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth unto the end shall be saved. So we're going to be hated, because we come in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and we have the 100% truth, and we believe in the 100% truth. Going back into what we just covered as far as the opening article, let's read this as well, because this also ties into what's being brought out through the Spirit. TSA expands facial recognition and digital IDs to 25 airports. And that's all Revelation 13 and 16. Let's get real quick. Let's get Job 14 on deck. Let's get Hebrews 13 on deck. Bear with me. Let's go back here, though. This is Revelation 13 and 16. Let's start with 15. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast. Esau had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, the beast is the Roman Empire, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast, the image of the system, should be killed. That goes into being separated, but you're actually going to have some men who lay down their lives for this thing. You know, this is Job 14 and 5. This is Job 14 and 5, and it reads, seeing his days determined, the number of his months are slack it. This is Job 14 and 5, again from the top, and it reads, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And that the bounds that he cannot pass, it's like it's a little early. The bounds that he cannot pass is coming after the hope for the elect. This is Isaiah 59 and 19, and it reads, So shall they fear the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. And that word goes into the standard, the word standard, and the word spirit goes into spiritual power. You know, we're going to see all sorts of miraculous things happen when this devil comes in like a flood, man. He's going to realize he fucked up, man, big time. Because you're going to have certain men, you know, who the Lord's going to raise up with spiritual power. So let's go back into this article. So it says the EU, the European Union, part of the beast system, you know, the European Union, NATO, you know, America, which rides upon that beast, the whore that rides upon that beast. The EU wants citizens to have a digital ID by 2030. And this is all in line with ultimately the New World Order plans, which will be totally confounded when the Lord cracks the sky. Just read some of this article. It says that the digital ID rollout is accelerating with little attention to and not enough pushback. The European Commission set aside 46 million, about 49 million, for the controversial European Digital Identity Wallet, an upcoming smartphone app that will allow citizens of all 27 member states of the EU to store and share a digital ID. The money will be invested in pilot programs in this digital wallet. I believe the digital identity wallet. Digital identity wallet, I mean, that says money all over as far as, let me see. Let's see what's going on. Digital identity for all Europeans. So it says the digital identity will be available. Let's see. I mean, you just put one and one together, it equals two. Let's see. Benefits, and they're gonna present this thing. They already presented this thing as a good thing. And what you have happen with that lady out there, I want to say in Australia, she got a microchip implanted in her and then regretted it and made a video against it, and then she got all access shut off. What you have happened about 5 days ago? Well, you had the FDA approve Neuralink. So Elon Musk's Neuralink receives FDA approval to implant and test brain reading device in people. That's Revelation 13, speaking loud and clear. Revelation 13 and 16. And it reads, and he causes all, their word causes is poeo, which means to set up, to get ready, to make ready. Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. The word mark is charagma, which is something that's physical. which goes into the Greek word karox, which is the delivering system, the needle, which goes into the Greek word grapha, which goes into intelligence, data, records, information, writing. It's going to store your bank records, your everything, your health records, your social credit score, your ability, or if you have access to certain things, or your traveling status, so on and so forth. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark. So that's talking about the charagma, which is the RFID implantable microchip. And this is already being introduced. It's being sold. It's being promoted. And that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, going into the universal product code system. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666. Going back into this article right here, Nokia CEO says humans to be implanted with 6G chips. 6G chips. 6, that's their number. And G, I believe, is the 13th letter of the alphabet, and 13 is the number of rulership. Let me see. It's lucky it's not, but it's all good though. G, the letter G, the Illuminati likes to use it. The Freemasons, they love to use G. It's lucky. Let me see. Just want to make sure. Yeah, M is the 13th letter of the alphabet. It's lucky. It's a little early. Bear with me. It's about 6:55 in the morning, so it's all good. How long we been going? Oh yeah, so what do you also have happening? You have what's called the Identiverse conference that's happening this week in Las Vegas. So this is happening as of yesterday, all the way till, let me see, the 2nd, which is Friday. So the Identiverse conference is where these big wigs, these technocrats meet up to discuss, how they're going to implement the next phases of, rolling out the MOTB system. Identity celebrated. So it says connect with the brightest minds in the identity industry. So we'll keep an eye on what's going to, come out of this and what they're going to say here. It's basically like another form of the wicked elites, puppets and cronies being together and discussing and brainstorming their ideas up, like the Davos meeting, so on and so forth. Now let's go back. Let's get some of this article, and we'll probably wrap on up. So it says the European Union wants all citizens to have a digital ID by 2030. In 2030, that's the year that the UN has for sustainable development. It falls in line with the UN's plans for Agenda 2030, which is secret code talk for the New World Order. And they want everybody to be implanted with a microchip, a 6G chip, Let's go back. So it says the wallet could be used for presenting travel credentials, registering SIM card, opening a bank account, or accessing services like social benefits. And this is all the RFID and implantable microchip system being rolled out. The MOTB system being rolled out. For the pilot projects will involve 250 public and private organizations in almost all member states, as well as Iceland, Norway, Ukraine, and will run for a minimum of 2 years. Yep. The projects are supposed to help member states prepare for the European Digital Identity Regulation, which is currently being discussed in Parliament. The projects will also put the bloc a step closer to achieving its goal of providing all citizens with a digital ID by 2030. Let's get this one more time. So it says Nokia CEO, this came out 12 months ago from Prime Business Africa. Nokia CEO says humans to be implanted with 6G chips sets time frame. So they said, basically he said by 2030, they basically want everybody to be chipped. And that's all in line with the New World Order, and the wicked elites plans. Once again, let's get Job 14:5. Job 14:5, seeing his days determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And that goes into him chipping the elect. Those are the bounds that he cannot pass. And he's going to come in like a flood, but it's all good. These things have to happen. Isaiah 59:19, so shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. And that word spirit, which is the Hebrew word racha, goes into spiritual power, warlike energy. And that word standard goes into spiritual power, being able to hide, being protected, to mount up with wings, being able to fly. You know what I'm saying? This is Psalms 3. This is Psalm 32:6, and it reads, for this shall every one that is godly pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. Why? Because the Lord's going to be with us, man. It's like it. This is a good one as well. Psalm 32:7, and it reads, thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble, from the time of great trouble, Jacob's trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Salah. This doctrine, man. The comforting words, man. And ultimately, protection from upon high. We have help from heaven that secured this, man. This is Hebrews 13 and 5, and it reads, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as thou slacketh. Hebrews 13:5, and it reads, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. Our daily bread, man. For he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. And that's the same thing he told our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, all the way on down to us, man. That's what the Lord told the disciples, Hebrews 13:5 again, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have, for he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Hebrews 13:6. So that we may boldly say, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. I will not fear what man shall do unto me, because he has those bounds that he cannot pass, man. Let's go down to the 9th verse. Hebrews 13:9, and it reads, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines. And through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, this is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. We're starting to see slowly but surely every day the vision speaking louder and louder and more clear and more clear. And those who are teaching against this, as far as the RFID implantable microchip not being the mark of the beast is sin, the mark of the beast is white women, the mark of the beast is, it's an embargo, it's this, it's that. They're starting to be found out more and more to be liars, man. It's not making sense. It's unsound doctrine. It's unsound doctrine, man. It's strange. That's strange doctrine. That's strange doctrine, man. Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Going into, even though it doesn't happen right away, when we say these things, it may happen a week later, months later, years later, because the elders and apostles of Great Millstone have been talking about the RFID implantable microchip being the MOTB ever since they first came on YouTube, and even before then, We're starting to see the vision speaking loud and clear, the prophecy of the MOTB speaking loud and clear. Back to Hebrews 13 and 9, and it reads, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, your mind, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. And the scriptures say, for the ear try words as the mouth tastes meat, man. Matter of fact, you know what? That's a good one in Sirach 36. And I want to say 18 or 19. Yeah. Dwade Habashim Hashai. Yep. Sirach 36 and 18. The belly devoureth all meats, yet one meat is better than another. Going into doctrines. Sirach 36 and 19. As a palate tasteth diverse time. As a palate, Sirach 36 and 19. As the palate tasteth diverse kinds of venison, so doth an heart and mind. Your heart is your mind. So doth an heart of understanding false speeches. And we're starting to see, slowly but surely, day by day by day, the vision speaking loud and clear. And those who are ultimately a part of the hopeful elect, they're starting to see through the bullshit that these other congregations are teaching. ISUPK, IUIC, HOI, Watchmen for Israel, Believers the Way, which all teach that the RFID implantable microchip is something other than what's obvious, They're starting to be found out to be, teachers of damnable heresies. Hebrews 13 and 9 again, and it reads, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines. Another strange doctrine is we don't have the name, or, the 12 tribes are all Negro. So on and so forth. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines. Don't worship the Heavenly Father's Son. That's Sakari's report. We'll say names today. Hebrews 13 and 9. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart, your mind, be established with grace, this truth, not with meats, doctrines, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. This is Titus. We'll get this last one, wrap on up. I pretty much hit the points. Titus. Titus 1. How long have we been going? Okay. And Lord, you were edified by this lesson. It's like if I sound a little bit sick, just getting over the sickness, so bear with me. This is Titus 1:9, and it reads, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Let's read it again, and it reads, holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, continuing the things which thou hast learned, that he may be able by sound doctrine to, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Let's go into this word sound. That word sound is the Greek word Strong's G for Greek 5198.
Strong's G 5198, Hugiano.
And it goes into to be sound, to be to be in good health of Christians, Israelites, whose opinions are free from any mixture of error. Because the scriptures say a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. And through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, the Lord is making this thing plain upon tables. You know, for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. And anybody teaching against, what we're teaching, they're being found out to not be teaching sound doctrine. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. There's no and he causeth with an embargo, a white woman. It sounds good to those who are simple and stupid, but those who have a little bit of sense, who the Lord has blessed the ability for them to see spiritually and to hear spiritually, they can see that Esau Edom isn't setting up what you guys are preaching. There's no any cause it for white women. There's no any cause it as far as that word cause it is the Greek word poeo, to get up, to get ready, to make ready, to set, to bring about, to make one, to do something, to cause one to do something, to be the author of. There's no any cause it for white women. An embargo. It doesn't make sense, but there's an any cause it for the RFID, there's an any cause it for the RFID implantable microchip and that whole rollout, man. That whole system rollout. So I'm going to close on that right here. We've been going long enough. Once again, Lord, you're edified and informed. Once again, you have a few things happening through the Spirit. You have what's known as the Identiverse happening, the Identiverse conference happening, and this is happening literally this week in Las Vegas at the Aria Resort and Casino, where they're basically going to have the cronies for the New World Order, the technocrats, be discussing their latest technologies and breakthroughs in technology of implementing, digital ID everywhere, biometric ID everywhere. You have TSA expanding facial recognition and digital IDs to 25 airports, and you have the European Union. They want all citizens to have a digital ID by 2030. And what you have happened about 5 days ago, you had the FDA give approval to Elon Musk's Neuralink to put implantable microchips in people. The vision is speaking loud and clear. So with that, I'm going to close on out. And in closing, Lord, to be edified. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash, double honors unto the head apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well. Shalom unto the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Shalom, shalom. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, and a hearty shalom to the sincere brethren laboring across the four winds of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling and election sure. Shalom, shalom. Until next lesson, next live stream, next camp session, shalom, DTA, wa ababa. Soon. Shalom.